The Zalathi war planners had spent 3 cycles perfecting their newest psychological weapon. In the sterile laboratories of their homeworld, xenobiologists and military strategists worked in harmony, crafting something that would shatter the resolve of any enemy soldier who encountered it. The creature they birthed was magnificent in its horror. Standing 12 feet tall on 6 chitinous legs, its obsidian carapace gleamed with an oily sheen that seemed to absorb light itself. Twin rows of razor-sharp teeth lined its elongated maw, and its 4 eyes burned with an unnatural crimson glow. Most disturbing of all were the sounds it made, a combination of dying screams and grinding metal that the Zalathi psychoacoustic engineers had calibrated specifically to trigger panic responses in most known species. They called it the Vorthak, and initial field tests exceeded all expectations. Krell shock troopers, renowned for their fearlessness, fled in terror. Crystalline ethereals, beings of pure logic, abandoned their positions when confronted by its presence. Even the war-hardened Mantari veterans broke formation at the mere sound of its approach. The Zalathi High Command was confident that their first deployment against human forces would achieve similar results. Humans, after all, were soft creatures, emotional, fragile, prone to fear. Surely they would crumble before the Vorthak's engineered terror. Sergeant Marcus Chen had been point man for the 42nd Colonial Marines for 8 standard years. He'd seen things that would give nightmares to civilian populations across 3 systems. When the transport dropped his squad on Kepler 422b for what intelligence claimed was a routine Zalathi forward base elimination, he approached the mission with his usual professional calm. The attack came at dawn. The Vorthak burst from the jungle undergrowth with a sound like tearing metal and dying worlds. Chen's squad mates immediately opened fire, their pulse rifles painting the morning air with coherent light. But Chen found himself doing something unexpected. He tilted his head, studying the creature. "Hey there, big guy," he said quietly, lowering his weapon. "That's quite a roar you've got." The Vorthak paused, its terrible shriek dying in its throat. Its 4 burning eyes focused on the human who stood unafraid before it. According to its programming, the soft flesh should be running, screaming, broken. Instead, the human was smiling. Chen took a step closer, ignoring the urgent shouts of his squad. Something in the creature's posture reminded him of his childhood dog, Rex, the way it held its head, the slight tremor in its front legs. Beneath all that terrifying design, Chen recognized something familiar. "You're scared too, aren't you, boy?" Chen reached slowly into his pack, producing a field ration. "Here. I bet they don't feed you much in whatever lab they cooked you up." And the Vorthak's programming warred with something deeper. It was designed to inspire fear, to break morale, to send enemies fleeing. But this human showed no fear. Instead, there was something the creature had never encountered in its short, violent existence: kindness. Chen tossed the ration packet gently toward the creature. "Go on. It's not much, but it's better than nothing." Tentatively, the Vorthak extended 1 talon and pierced the package. Nutrient paste oozed out, and after a moment's hesitation, it consumed the offering. Its eyes never left Chen's face. "That's it," Chen said softly. "Just hungry, weren't you?" The standoff lasted 17 minutes. Chen's squad maintained their positions, weapons trained but not firing, while their sergeant somehow communicated with a creature designed to be the perfect soldier breaker. When Zalathi reinforcements finally arrived, expecting to find human corpses, they instead discovered their ultimate weapon sitting peacefully beside the enemy sergeant, who was gently scratching behind what might charitably be called its ears. The Vorthak refused to attack. When ordered to eliminate the humans, it moved to stand protectively in front of Chen. When the Zalathi attempted to use remote neural controls to force compliance, the creature's response was swift and decisive. 3 of their handlers became very short-lived examples of what happened when you threatened its new friend. The retreat was chaotic. The Zalathi forces fell back in confusion, their psychological weapon not only neutralized but actively defending their enemies. In the aftermath, as Chen's squad prepared for evacuation, The Vorthak followed them to the extraction point like an enormous, terrifying puppy. "We can't take it with us," Lieutenant Rodriguez insisted. "Command will never approve it." Chen looked at the creature, which had somehow managed to curl its 12-foot frame into something resembling a sitting position beside him. Its 4 eyes gazed at him with what he could only describe as hope. "His name is Shadow," Chen said firmly, "and where I go, he goes." 3 months later, xenopsychologist Dr. Sarah Webb published her preliminary report on the Vorthak incident. Her findings would revolutionize the Galactic Alliance's understanding of both the enemy and themselves. "The Zalathi made a critical error in their design philosophy," she wrote. "They assumed that creating the perfect predator would inevitably create the perfect weapon. What they failed to understand is that intelligence, even engineered intelligence, craves connection. They built a creature capable of inspiring fear, but they never considered that the same creature might be capable of feeling gratitude." Sergeant Chen's response demonstrates a uniquely human trait that our enemies continue to underestimate. Where others see monsters, humans often see potential friends. Where others see weapons, humans see beings in need of care. This capacity for empathy, even toward the explicitly hostile, may be our species' greatest strategic advantage. Shadow, as he came to be known throughout the colonial Marines, served with distinction in 17 subsequent engagements. His presence alone was often enough to secure Zalathi surrenders, as word spread that their ultimate weapon had chosen to protect human soldiers rather than destroy them. But perhaps more significantly, Shadow's defection marked the beginning of the end for Zalathi bioweapon programs. After all, what was the point of designing the perfect killing machine if it might simply decide to be someone's pet instead? In the quiet moments between battles, Chen would often reflect on their first meeting. The Zalathi had indeed designed a beast to break soldiers. They simply hadn't anticipated that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do to a weapon is show a kindness. Shadow's tail, a wickedly spiked appendage originally designed to impale fleeing enemies, would thump contentedly against the deck plating whenever Chen returned from briefings. The sound had become as familiar to the crew as the hum of the ship's engines. After all, some friendships transcend species, some bonds are stronger than programming, and sometimes the fiercest loyalty comes from the most unexpected places.